Hey, I just wanted to show off a little bit of my handiwork with anti-gravity. So I've been a big fan of Claude Code, using that in Cursor, and frankly, I don't do a lot of code generation. I know it sounds strange, but I use it a lot for um, brainstorming, creating copy, um, putting together little business plans and product offers. um, and not a lot of code generation. Like I said, but I wanted to try anti-gravity. I'm familiar with code a little bit. Um, so I had an idea kicking around in my head um, when when I go on walks, particularly now that it's getting darker earlier and it's getting colder. It's the winter in New England, or approaching winter, and writing a little application that shows you the the degree of which the sun is above the horizon at noon, and how that maps to the summer solstice. It's hard to explain, but that's part of the genius of using anti gravity, is that it actually kind of got it, and I knew I needed to give a latitude and a longitude, and a time, I think a time of day, but I'm really just interested in the solar noon. So when the sun's at its apex, um, and then have it map, what that looks like, just display it. And I actually tried this in Claude Code a couple of days ago. Not even Claude Code, actually, it was in a project, and it didn't do a very good job. I had to keep iterating over it, and the longer I iterated, the worse it got. And I'm sure a lot of it had to do with my description of it. But I did it in anti gravity, and it came up with a pretty good. Um, so I had, one of the things, I'm not very familiar with these applications client side with JavaScript. I kind of just have to totally vibe it. I kind of can get my bearings, but um, it was, obviously very good at it. And I was hitting just some walls with the I think everyone else was pounding on it yesterday as it was released, and so it was throttling me. So I had to kind of say like, try again, try again. But other than that, it was pretty smooth. So let's see, where is the application? I'll drag it over here. So here it is. So yeah, you give a date, of course, and the location, and it'll use my location. So I'll allow it. And so for today, which is the 19th of November, solar noon, so the apex here is the equivalent of 7:56 a.m. on June 21st. And I think that's right. It seems about right. But that's crazy. And so what's kind of cool is if you actually go to June 21st, as you'd expect, that the solar noon will be at the top of this line here. And then as you, um, after that date, it's interesting whether this is completely accurate or not. It's, you're going to get about the same amount of light, which is about true in my experience in the summertime. But once you go into September and October, you really change. Like 9:06 a.m. in the summer solstice is the equivalent of noon on September 10th. So that's kind of crazy. Anyway, I'm more fascinated with this output than anything. And here's the other cool thing is that I wanted to deploy this to Versal. And honestly, like I was doing this a year ago just with my regular old code. And I'd get it up to GitHub, and then I'd go into Versal and I would select the GitHub repo, and I would, make sure it's all working and connecting and everything. And it just like I asked anti-gravity to just talk me through it, and I did everything from the command line here, or the prompt interface, and it just worked. And so for me, just being able to deploy something this easily is huge. It used to take me forever. I'm not a DevOps guy, but it was really easy. I could go and just like show it off and show people, and that's kind of what I think. I this isn't a new thought to me, but it's actually coming true where we have these little pet interests, the curiosities, and we no longer have to just wonder, um, and we can vibe code them into life, and it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't have to be production. It's just something that we're going to play around with and use for ourselves. I think somewhere along the lines I read it's a pleasure app, just for your pleasure, and it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. But the fact that you can let loose with some code and deploy it and have a fun little app. That's the cool thing. I think everyone should do it. All right, I'll be playing around some more. Um, I'm still a bit partial to Claude Code for some reason, but I'll keep using AntiGravity. I think a lot of people are starting to like it, even though it's just released yesterday. All right, thanks. See ya.